Hello everyone. Surely you've seen a rock yard like this, you may even have one yourself. Well, here's why you shouldn't get one or change it if you have one, because rock yards are not only subjectively ugly, to me for instance, and quite the waste of space, but also problematic for the environment and your soil. So, why is that? First problem. The rocks and gravel are usually sourced from river banks and river beds. When this happens, the rocks no longer filter the river water and the stream widens due to the rock beds that form the river banks being taken away. This lessens the amount of water flowing through and can lead to droughts further downstream. Taking rocks out of rivers also causes aquatic creatures to lose their habitat. Those are the effects they have on rivers, but do they at least have some sort of a positive influence on your garden? No, they don't. See, the second problem is that the rocks deprive the soil they lie on of nutrients by blocking the space for flora and fauna. And they don't prevent weeds well. They're also more expensive than soil or organic matter, which you can literally make yourself, and they're not beneficial to microorganisms, plants, or animals. I live in Germany, and in my state, rockyards have been outlawed for being unsustainable and ugly. Yeah, it's that bad. Some people argue that the rocks give minerals to the soil, like they give minerals to water, but a single inch of compost on the soil will give it more nutrients than an inch or two of rocks sitting there for 10, 15 years. With all that said, rocks don't really give anything back to you. While plants produce oxygen, regulate the climate, convert CO2, attract animals, and in the best case produce useful parts such as flowers or fruits. What rocks do give you is either too hot and dry dead soil, or, depending on climate, bad soil riddled with fungal and algae growth, constantly waterlogged under a barrier of stone with too much air. Because rocks as mulch don't prevent waterlogging, they just hide it from you. If you use rocks as drainage next to your house, consider switching them out for paving stones or organic mulch and plants to take up any excess water. Plants placed in the soil in these rockyards often become sick or weak due to having few beneficial insects and minimal nutrients around, all while suffering from heat and light reflected by the rocks, which dries out the plant and can burn the leaves, rendering the plant unable to photosynthesize. In a cooler climate, or a more wet climate, the waterlogging and the fungal growth I just mentioned can also affect the plant negatively. There seems to be a misconception that rockyards are low maintenance. They're not, but that's what seems to spark the appeal for them. Plant yards can be just as low maintenance as you think a rock yard can be. With all that said about rock gardens, let's see what we can do differently by focusing on low maintenance alternatives. So in most cases, a lawn could be considered an alternative option. A grass or mixed lawn with native grass types can be low maintenance while also yielding space for trees or bushes. Clover lawns are also gaining popularity due to being relatively simple to manage and pollinator friendly, but they take some time to gain the hardiness of a grass lawn, so maybe not an option, or at least not a quick fix. Now, if the space isn't being used, which is often the case with rock yards, you could use ground covers, which aren't made to be walked on, but are easily kept in their space, and again, low maintenance. It's a theme for today. Now, I'll just list a couple popular ground covers, starting with nasturtium. Nasturtium is actually a perennial, which is often seeded as an annual due to being quite frost sensitive. But by reseeding itself yearly, it becomes an effective ground cover, and for the winter, you can mulch the area or put in brassicas like kale. Nasturtium is also edible, both the flowers and the leaves, and it's pollinator friendly, and it can be used to kite aphids away from your other plants, with a nasturtium taking little to no damage. Another option is alfalfa, or lucerne, whatever you choose to call it. It's a great cover crop, a perennial, edible, very healthy, and definitely also belongs in your vegetable garden as an annual to reinvigorate the soil. Next on the list is creeping thyme, which is also a beautiful and pollinator-friendly way to replace lawns or fill small areas between paving stones. Add to that the fact that it's edible, frost-hardy up to USDA hardiness zone 4, and smells heavenly, and you've got yourself a great ground cover. You can also plant lupine in between your ground covers, available in annual, perennial, and edible varieties, but be aware that lupines can be susceptible to slugs. They come in many different colors, and certain varieties are pollinator friendly, so when buying lupine seedlings or seeds, always check if the variety is right for you. Lastly, buckwheat. Not duckweed, buckwheat. It's not frost tolerant, but is often used as a green manure in agriculture. Not only does it suppress weeds, attract pollinators, and fertilize the soil, it's also edible. When this grain-like crop is harvested, you can make gluten-free flour out of it, or turn the seeds into sprouts and get yourself a nutrient kick that way. Thanks for watching, everyone. Do you have any more ideas? Do you agree or disagree? Tell me in the comments below. Check out the blog and the related article, and I'll just be here, making a schedule and mainly posting. Till next time, goodbye.